Hey, Happy New Year! It's 2024 and I am in my first national park of the year and on my first hike of the year. So I'm in Zion National Park. It literally has snowed through the night and it's just stopped just before I arrived. And I'm going to hike to Angel's Landing, which I have done before, but I've never done it with this much snow. I'm actually hiking the Grotto Trail at the moment purely because I didn't feel confident enough to drive any further on the road. So I parked at Zion Lodge and I have a permit to hike Angel's Landing today. I have put together this very brief detail on the permit system, but you can skip over it if you already know to watch the hike. So open up the Recreation Gov app or the website and type in Zion National Park. If you scroll past the camping and come to activities and experiences, you can scroll through the seasons and look for the relevant season that applies to you. It does have the dates on there, and for me that was winter. So you tap winter and then check availability. You then can see the dates that the permits are available for. This is one day before, so you can see the date that you'd be hiking and then register for lottery. You pop in your personal details, including your address and payment information, which I'll skip over. And then you can put up to 7 selections in. So you tap this up to 7 and then enter your choices, select an Angel's Landing and your group size, and keep doing that to use up all 7 options, and then proceed to cart to checkout and make payment. You can read the terms and conditions. There is a fee. It's $6 for the lottery and then a further $3 if you're successful. Don't forget to agree to the terms and conditions and then wait for the email. So this is Angel's Landing just here. So Zion gets super crowded. I'm talking like busier than Yosemite at times. So it's quite good to be flexible with where you start your hike, because sometimes you might not be able to get a shuttle bus or parking might be restricted. So I have taken this Grotto Trail, which has been a pretty easy trail. It's been just alongside the side of the road really, but you get some really good views of the valley itself and of the canyon walls, and obviously with this snow dust and it looks incredible at the moment. But I started at stop 5 on the shuttle service and I'm gonna come to stop 6 and from there, so it's only one stop, and then I'll be able to get onto my trail. But as I said, I probably could have driven up, but the ploughs had only gone as far as the lodge, and I don't think I've got all-wheel drive, and I don't know, I get spooked driving in the snow sometimes, so I was just more comfortable to stop there because I knew I'd got that far, I could park, and it was just going to add a little bit onto my hike. But Angel's Landing's actually quite a short hike anyway. It's one of those ones where you don't mind so much if you have to extend it out a little bit. So this is shuttle stop 6 and the plough has just made it up here, so he's just plowing the roads. But there's some restrooms over there, and then this is Angel's Landing. So you can just see here, this is where I parked at Zion Lodge, and I just hiked this very short, the Grotto Trail, just to here and across this bridge, and take the West Rim Trail all the way up to Walter's Wiggles, and then from there the very short peak up to Angel's Landing. So yeah, the irony of this sign today. So some info on wildlife in the area. They have some owls up here that are really rare, and also the California condors. this is the Virgin River that makes its way. This is the Virgin River making its way through. What a shot. So here's the first trail junction on the other side of the bridge. The Kayenta Trail takes you up to the Emerald Pools, which is 1 mile just up here. And Angel's Landing is just 2.5 miles this way. So there's some prints here in the snow. Definitely not human. So I may have a friend somewhere. But look at that. Wow. Gorgeous. So this trail is not actually too difficult until you get, there's 2 sections which I would classify as tough, which is Walter's Wiggles, which is a series of switchbacks, which are usually pretty slippy. So I have my chains in my bag and I'm definitely going to need them today. But yeah, there's Walter's Wiggles, and then after that just the actual chain section up to Angel's Landing. But the actual hiking part, you know, the walking, is actually pretty family friendly. When I did this last time, it was probably like February or March, and it was completely clear, the trail, so it's quite kind of strange to be doing it now in snow. But someone's obviously ahead of me because there's some markings on the trail which have made it a lot easier for me to step in. And the sound of the Virgin River, and it's really quiet today, really peaceful. I think snow always gives you this feeling of like solitude and serenity. So yeah, it's a good day to be in the park and a good day to be back on the trails, kicking off 2024. There is some prickly pear cactus with a touch of snow. I think there's some more just here as well. Started to climb in away from the Virgin River, and you can see here a series of switchbacks that are going to take me up into this canyon between the valley here. So that's where I'm heading now. Started to warm up so quickly that I've already taken my hat off. It is a climb. It's not anything like too taxing, but obviously I laid up this morning, and because I'm hiking uphill, I'm starting to warm up, so I'm feeling quite warm now. But I'm quite conscious that I don't really want to start taking like my coat off and stuff, because I don't want my sweat to then, you know, cool my body down and make me sick. So yeah, but the sun is climbing. The sun is rising, and it looks like, as you can see from this side and up, it's going to be a blue sky. So I'm just in this canyon where there are some lesser spotted owls apparently that live, but because it's a little valley, all the snow and ice is blowing off the trees and the cliffs onto my face. So yeah. So this is the famous Walter's Wiggles section of the trail. So you might not be able to see it from this angle, but you certainly can from the top. But these are all mini little switchbacks. They get super icy, but today I'm hoping because of all the snow powder will have hopefully made them a little bit more, well, less slippy. I'm already out of breath and now I've got to tackle this, but yeah, after this bit, the views are going to get insane. And just looking back at this valley, how gorgeous that is with the sun rising up. So unfortunately my hopes weren't met and I've had to stick my spikes on. Underneath the snow is obviously slick ice, so as soon as you step in shallow snow you hit that ice and start to slide. So spikes are on and I'm on my way up.
Cold night, we drop to the light, and riding around the whole night. Cold night, we're having your life, and you're by my side till the night. Cold night, we drop to the light, and riding around the whole night.
Oh my god, they are savage. And you've got to think, if it was a hot summer's day, that is not going to be fun. But I did it. So I think I thought I knew the answer to what I was about to say, and I was going to ask you all if you knew how many switchbacks there were, and I was going to be like really clever and be like, guess the answer in 10, 9, 8, and then tell you the answer. And then I remembered that I don't actually know. I think it's 14. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, how about that? So that's looking down into that canyon that I just came from, which is all along here. So I just come from here and you can see just up there, just here, there is a pit toilet, and you see a little trail that goes up to there. And then you come, as you obviously face forward towards Angel's Landing, you come to this. So believe it or not, this is actually a trail, and this will take you to Cabin Spring in 3 miles and then Lava Point in 12 miles. And it switches back all along here and up there, but it's just 0.5 miles to the top of Angel's Landing. And obviously, as I said at the start of the video, the trail itself is a really short trail, but it's tough, you know. You've got a lot of switchbacks, a lot of up, and it's quite exposed. So in summer, that's going to be quite a challenge in the heat. And this section is very challenging. So for a lot of people, this is as far as they're going to come. You need a permit, although I haven't seen anybody today, but I did come quite early. But remember, this is not, you know, it's the most deadly hike in America. So be mindful if you're going to take kids, like think less about the Insta and more about their ability. And also if you have like a fear of heights and stuff, this could be quite the challenge for you. But I've never done it in snow. I haven't seen anyone else up here yet, but I am going to give it a go. But full disclaimer, if I give up and turn back, it's just because it's in my head it's not safe. So yeah. So here we have the warning sign. And this is the point where you need a permit. So I mean, there's not a ranger here right now, but that's not to say there won't be one later. And also I think in these national parks you should just be following the rules that they set anyway, because if everyone was like, oh, there's no ranger, like we can just do it, then it becomes crowded, and then the whole point of the permit process is void. And part of that permit process is also to make it more safe, because it was too crowded. But anyway, I digress. I'm actually shitting myself, but I'm going to give it a go. And the sun's just peeking up over there. One more warning sign and one more heads up about those condors. I've just successfully traversed the first section of the chains, but the worst section is still to come. So I've made it to this viewpoint and the sun is on me. It's gorgeous, but this is what's coming. So I need to take the chains, and obviously, as you can understand, I can't film too much, so I need to hold on, but I need to go down here, which doesn't look too bad, but then up all the way up to the top of that. Jesus Christ. Just to give some perspective, this is the sheer drop either side as I traverse these cables. This is not the fun life that I thought I was living. The wind is really picking up and it's so steep. Oh my god. Often in between the chains you get these walkie sections and then another chain section. This one's not too bad, it was definitely steeper than this. You can already see the views. So you just hold on. I mean, normally I hold on with two hands just to be safe. This one really isn't that bad though, this section. But you can see I came down this where it's just snow and steep drop off. I was taking a little break every so often just to make sure that I'm not overexerting myself, because there's an altitude here as well. The wind is picking up, so I've ended up putting my hood up just because I was getting cold ears. But three guys came down and passed me, and they said that the bit I was about to do was the worst section. Obviously I can't remember it that well because I've only done it a couple of times before, and being as it's covered in snow, it doesn't look that familiar either. But I'm nearly there, and I will be glad to get to the top, but I'm quite worried about the getting down bit. I'm going to definitely put the GoPro away for coming down and just focus on navigating rather than trying to entertain you lovely people. Okay, and this is it. Wow. And how, I mean, if you've ever hiked this hike before, I mean, tell me if you've ever had it for yourself down below, but from what I've seen on other videos and just what I know about the trail and from my own experience, this is so rare to be the only person at the top. The only snag is there's no one to take my picture. But luckily I've got my GoPro. That's a cold night. to try this again. So you can see the river just in this section here, and then there's a black mark, and that's actually the bridge, and then you can very faintly see the car park just here, and that's stop 6, Angels Landing Trailhead. And then just further down you can see some roofs covered in snow, and that's Zion Lodge, and that's Ryan Park. So it is just a very short trail on the Grotto Trail to get between the two, so definitely easily doable if you struggle to get parking. And then further off in the distance you can see some roofs, and I believe that is the Zion Valley Visitor Centre. Time to start heading back. So I made it down the chains, which is always a relief, because going downhill on something steep is always a bit intimidating. There was a ranger at the beginning of the chains when I come back down, really friendly, and I actually proactively said, you know, would you like to check my permit? And he was like, yeah, if you could give me the last name. And he found, I had it on my phone, but he found it by my name. So yeah, I don't know whether he was asking everyone or whether it was because I proactively offered, because obviously I was already coming down, I'd already been up. But really friendly, quick transaction, just to confirm, you know, that I had the permit. And there's a few people, there's about 5 people just waiting to start going up. And there's one person who was going up as I was leaving the top. But other than that, I had the whole thing to myself. It was an absolute dream. And here I am, back at the Wiggles, and heading down. I've kept my spikes on for this section, but I'll probably take them off then because I don't want to damage them when I don't need them. But it was such a stunning view from up there, from both sides of Zion Valley. And yeah, really successful trip. I'm glad I came, because there was a time with the weather being like snowy and icy. Wind. Yeah, there was a time when I debated whether to go to Death Valley instead or go someplace else. I probably won't make it to Bryce today just because the roads are going to be pretty icy and it's really cold. It's -16 there. But I'm so glad I came to Zion and I did this trail. I'm going to head back and then see if there's another trail I can do around the area. I can get a hot chocolate. The sun is starting to come down on one side of the west rim of Zion, and the roads are a little bit clearer. I nearly slipped crossing the road though, which doesn't make me feel that confident about where I've parked, but there we go. A lot more people on the trail this morning, but I'm glad I got up early and just had that moment to myself. But yeah, it's taken me probably just under 4 hours, but that's because obviously it takes a lot longer when you're navigating ice and snow, and to factor in the time at the top as well. But it's been a good hike. I'm definitely looking forward to a snack and a hot drink. And there is Angels Landing just behind me. So if you like this video and you want to see more hikes in Zion and other national parks, please comment below, like the video and subscribe to my channel.